I got a trim piece here for a 2013 Yukon, and got a little crack here, hole that kind of formed in it here after we dropped something on here. And instead of buying a whole new brand new piece, which is probably pretty costly, we're going to go ahead and make that repair using Alumilite products. Alright, so when I removed this part from the car, I noticed that the chunk that fell out was sitting underneath the trim piece. So this changes up a little bit of my repair, but I'm going to show you both ways. If I didn't have this piece, how I do the repair, and seeing that I have the piece, how I can make that repair as well. So to repair this without the missing piece, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some amazing mold putty, and we're going to mix this up and mold a good section of the trim, and then put it over the broken section and then backfill it with resin. Obviously I'm not going to do the resin part because I would rather repair it with the missing piece for aesthetics. It'll just look a lot better versus if I would pour resin in behind it, it would appear to be more black instead of this gray color. So with the mold putty, all you do is you just eyeball equal amounts. That's going to cover the area that you want to cover. I need a little bit more white here. So there we got about equal sizes. And we're going to be just replicating this section maybe here to here so that we can transfer it over to here. So all we do is start kneading our mold putty together. I want to get it into a nice uniform color. This is a great product to use because it cures really fast and it replicates the surface that it's applied to. So when we form it over a good portion of the trim, it will give us all that texture and transfer that into the replaced part when we pour, if we would pour the resin in behind it. So we're getting it pretty well mixed here. You have 2 to 3 minutes to get this mixed and applied over your part, which doesn't seem like a whole lot of time, but really it's almost always ample time if you just get it kneaded up pretty quick. Once you have it mixed, go ahead and roll it into a ball. Get some of those creases out of it. You have to apply a little pressure to do this. And once you're happy with it, you can just go ahead, flatten this out a little bit, kind of like into a pancake shape, or into the rough shape of what you're going to mold over. Then I like to push it down on the table a little bit just to get a nice flat back, and I'll peel it up. And we're going to, like I said, kind of go over this spot right here, so we're just going to kind of start in the middle so that it picks up all those ribs. And then we'll let that set up and cure for about between 10 and 15 minutes, because this is warm. I kind of had it in front of the heater, and heat helps accelerate the cure of the putty. So we'll check this in about 10-15 minutes. Alright, so our amazing mold putty has cured now and it's nice and firm, so we're going to go ahead and peel this off of here, and you'll see that it's replicated the exact surface quality as that's on the piece. Now you can be as finicky as you want with this. If I were to make the repair from here, all I would be doing next is turning this over and then maybe securing that with some tape. And on the back side, what you'll see is you'll have a backing in order to then mix up some black resin, pour it into this cavity, probably encapsulate this whole area, and then you'll get that exact pattern, and it'll replace this rib right there, and should look pretty decent when it's repaired. And then the silicone doesn't stick to the urethane. You just peel that right off, let the urethane cure before you install it, and you're all set. Next we'll move on to making the repair with the piece that was popped out. Alright, now to make this repair with the replacement piece that we found that had been popped out, we're going to turn this over, and I'm going to put a piece of cardboard underneath here so that in case any glue falls through there, we don't get that on the table. I'm going to start out by taking some alcohol and just wiping this down to make sure that it's a clean surface, a good bonding surface. I'm going to do the same to the piece, especially those little edges that we're going to be applying the adhesive to. I'm just going to take a little glue here. This is just standard super glue. Alright. And then I'm going to work this in here. And basically just work on gluing this back into place as best as we can. And then we'll reinforce the back side of this so that this piece doesn't fall back out. And we'll show that process here in a minute. This is just an adhesive accelerator that I'm applying to help get that super glue tacked in so it holds the piece in place. You can flip this over. And also going to apply a little of the adhesive accelerator on the back here. Alright, so our piece is bonded back in, and some people might stop right there, but you know, all it takes is one little knock and that will be dislodged again. So we're going to mix up some resin or foam or something like that, and we're going to fill in this cavity here so that we have a nice rigid supporting backside so we don't have any more chunk outs. Alright, so this is our repaired section here. The glue is all cured up and dried, and now what we're going to do is backfill this to kind of support it with a little structure. And what I have here is some Alumilite regular that has some black dye added to it, and then we're going to go ahead and mix these up, and then whatever's left over we'll just backfill other cavities to kind of support those. I'm just using our Alumilite regular today because it's our quickest system. You have about a 90-second open time, and it cures up rock solid in about 7 minutes or so. Sometimes quicker depending on if it's warmer outside. So we're going to go ahead and make sure this is mixed well. I think that's about good. And that's about all you need. And I'm just going to do the larger areas because those are the ones that probably don't have the cross members to support it. So we're just going to backfill these a little bit. These will stiffen them right up so that it could take more of an impact down the road. The black isn't really necessary. You didn't have to add the black dye. Obviously it's just a cosmetic thing. It's on the back side so you're not going to see it. But I thought on that repaired area, if it at all seeped through it all by a small crack, at least it would be black. And that's that. We'll just let this cure up. About 7 minutes, that'll be rock hard, and we can pop it back onto the vehicle. Alright, so we got the back side all cured up. You can see it's all nice and hard. We're going to go ahead and pop it back in. If you have any questions about this application or any others, please don't hesitate to give us a call. We can be reached at 1-800-447-9344.